Thank you for the opportunity to mention the petition we have launched in the United Kingdom. The reason for the petition is that the UK is engaged in a conflict situation, taking one side in the Ukraine conflict, and they've done this without the authority of the British public. It hasn't been an election issue, and it hasn't been a referendum issue, and we're concerned about this because of the costs of being involved in this conflict, and it's quite clear that it's not in British interest to have this involvement, because there have been consequences in terms of our fuel prices, energy prices, food prices, cost of living generally, inflation, and higher interest rates, and a looming recession. And we feel there should be a public debate on this issue, which the government is actually denying us, and we're using the normal parliamentary procedure. If we can get 100,000 signatures, then it will qualify for a debate in Parliament. And it's just very unfortunate that the politicians across the parties in the UK are not having an open and honest debate about the issue of the Ukraine conflict, and we're getting a lot of media bias, all one-sided, and we want there to be a healthy debate, so every perspective can be heard, but in particular what is in the interest of the British public, which has always been a secondary issue right from the start. And the petition is asking for there to be a referendum on the issue of the UK becoming neutral on the Ukraine issue, and that will enable the UK to engage in as a peacemaker in the region and to be taken seriously, and also it will enable the UK to improve the crisis we're in, where we have this severe situation regarding energy and fuel and food, and we believe that if we become neutral and try and become peacemakers and look after our own interests, that our economic situation will greatly improve, and that it is an opportunity for the people to have their say. The difficulty we have is getting the knowledge of this petition out to the public, because at the moment it's being what we call no platform by most of the old mainstream media in the UK. And I've been involved with a number of successful petitions, and I know that when they get mainstream media attention, the public do get to know about them when they do sign them. So we have got an uphill struggle, but it is important, and very important, because the UK is about to have a new Prime Minister, and the debate these two leading contenders have had has been avoiding the issue about whether the policy in the Ukraine is right or not. And of course there's a growing body of opinion which believes that that policy is not right for the United Kingdom. I was concerned to learn that these dangerous mines were being used by elements of the Ukrainian armed forces in certain parts of the Ukraine. And Eva Bartlett did well-known Eva Bartlett journalist did a video report on this, which stated clearly that this was breaking the Geneva Convention, and of course there have been these demonstrations outside the embassies in Moscow to protest about the use of these mines, which are really horrific in the damage they can cause to civilians, and they are breaking of international law, and this matter does need to be drawn to the worldwide attention. But one of the problems we do have, and we certainly have had in the United Kingdom, is that we get a one-sided report, and we only get the Ukrainian perspective and not any other perspective. So it wouldn't surprise me if the media in the UK say that the Russians have laid these mines. I mean, more and more of us are getting used to thinking twice when we hear our news, because more and more people are realising that it is very biased and one-sided. But this particular issue, I hope, does get wide publicity, because it is important to have proper and accurate reporting of what's going on there. And what we have in the so-called West is the Ukrainian side painted as saints who never do anything wrong, whereas the reality is that they do as much wrong as any armed forces would do in any conflict, and they do need to be called to account, certainly for breaking the Geneva Convention. And the media in the West should be questioning President Zelensky about this and getting a commitment that they would stop doing this. But at the moment, they're not doing any questioning at all.